carved into the sacred entrance of the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, the phrase, "Know thyself," has echoed through millennia, whispered by mystics, philosophers, and seekers of truth. But what does it truly mean? Is it simply self-awareness? Or is it a gateway to unlocking the deepest mysteries of existence? What if I told you that this simple phrase holds the key to transcendence, to breaking free from the illusions of the world? That the ancient sages were not speaking about knowing your name, your history, or your personality, but about something far deeper, something hidden from the untrained eye. Today, we embark on a journey to unravel this esoteric wisdom, peeling away the layers of illusion to uncover the profound and hidden meaning of Know Thyself. Stay with me until the end, and you may never see yourself the same way again. Most believe Know Thyself is merely a call for introspection, but few understand its true origins. This enigmatic phrase was inscribed in the legendary Temple of Apollo at Delphi, a sacred site where the oracle, priestesses known as the Pythia, would channel divine prophecies. To the uninitiated, it seemed like a simple message of self-awareness. But to the ancient mystery schools, it was an invitation to a higher truth, a secret path to inner alchemy and divine awakening. The Delphic oracle was not alone in emphasizing self-knowledge. The Egyptians taught it in their initiation rites. The Hindus called it Atma Vidya, the knowledge of the self. And the Gnostics believed that self-knowledge was the key to transcending the material world. All these teachings pointed to one truth. To truly know yourself is to know the divine. But what exactly is this self we are meant to know? To answer that, we must first separate illusion from truth. Most people identify with their ego, the collection of thoughts, memories, and identities they've accumulated over time. But the ancient mystics warned that this is merely a mask, a dream, a fleeting shadow. Imagine a man who has spent his entire life wearing a mask. One day, he looks into a mirror and sees the mask, believing it to be his true face. This is how we live, mistaking our conditioned personality for our authentic self. This false self is shaped by our upbringing, social expectations, and external influences. It is the self that seeks validation, fears rejection, and clings to labels. I am my job, I am my name, I am my past. But are you really? The ancient wisdom traditions tell us that the first step to knowing oneself is to unlearn, to strip away these illusions. Only then can we approach the deeper truth. Beyond the illusions of the false self lies something eternal. The true self, the untouched and infinite awareness that exists beyond thought. The Upanishads call it Brahman. The Gnostics call it the divine spark. And the Hermeticists call it the higher self. This is the part of you that does not change, that has witnessed every experience of your life without judgment. It is the silent observer behind your thoughts, the space between your breaths. To know thyself is not to accumulate more knowledge, but to realize what you have always been. The Buddha once said, "You are not your thoughts, you are the awareness behind them." And so the journey to self-knowledge is not an external quest, but an inner unveiling. Knowing oneself is not an intellectual pursuit. It is a transformation of consciousness. The ancient initiates practiced 3 core disciplines. Meditation, to silence the noise of the mind and perceive the self beyond thoughts. self-inquiry, to question every belief and identity. Who am I? Who is the one asking this question? Detachment, to release attachment to the false self and recognize the impermanence of the material world. The great mystic, Ramana Maharshi, taught that self-inquiry alone can dissolve the illusion of separateness. By asking, who am I? Deeply and sincerely, we begin to dismantle the false identity and awaken to our true nature. But beware, the ego will resist. It will distract, deceive, and fight to maintain its illusion. This is why the path is often called a battle between illusion and truth. As the layers of illusion dissolve, a profound truth emerges. You are not separate from the divine. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. To know thyself is to remember that you are not merely human. You are a divine being, experiencing itself through a temporary form. This is the great secret of the sages, hidden in plain sight. When you fully grasp this truth, fear dissolves. The need for external validation disappears. You no longer seek outside for what has always been within. You awaken. And this, my friends, is the true meaning of know thyself. In Buddhist scriptures, the Buddha repeatedly emphasized self-knowledge, not merely in terms of thoughts or emotions, but at the deepest level of existence itself. When the ancient Greeks inscribed know thyself on the gates of the Temple of Delphi, they touched upon an eternal truth, one that the Buddha had expounded over 2,500 years ago. Self-inquiry is the supreme path to liberation. Buddhism speaks of anatta, non-self, the realization that what we call the self is nothing more than a temporary aggregation of body, sensations, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. Upon deep contemplation, one perceives that there is no fixed, independent I, and that a clinging to this illusion of self is the root cause of dukkha, suffering. Vipassana meditation, the direct method taught by the Buddha, is the practice of knowing oneself, but not in a superficial way. It is the penetrative seeing of reality as it truly is. All phenomena are anicca, impermanent, dependently arisen, and devoid of intrinsic identity. When one truly knows oneself, they transcend the delusions of egoic existence and arrive at the state of parama vimutti, supreme liberation, nibbana. Thus, know thyself is not merely a philosophical statement. It is an invitation, a path, and the key to breaking the cycle of samsara, birth, death, and rebirth. The world is full of distractions, illusions, and false identities. But the ultimate journey is the one within. Take a moment today. Look beyond your thoughts. Ask yourself, who am I? Not as a name, not as a story, but as pure awareness. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. What does know thyself mean to you? And if you're ready for more esoteric wisdom, subscribe and join me as we continue uncovering the hidden truths of the universe. Until next time, seekers, stay awake, stay aware, and remember, the truth is within you.